All right, so let's jump into some interesting data we've got here.
Okay.
It shows that in a recent month, 332 undocumented Indian immigrants were deported from the U.S.
Mm.
And the crazy thing is almost all of them came from just 3 states,
Oh, wow.
Punjab, Haryana, and Gujarat.
Okay.
So why this concentration? Where are the South Indians? It's not like there's some kind of border patrol filter that's,
Right.
just targeting those 3 states.
It is a curious pattern, yeah.
It really is.
And it's not just about who's getting caught.
Okay.
There's actually a fascinating contradiction in the data when we look at human trafficking networks.
Okay. Unpack that for me.
Well, so you see, the majority of undocumented immigrants apprehended at the U.S. border seem to be from North India, but then a significant number of the identified human traffickers who are facilitating these journeys, they're actually based in South India.
Oh, wow.
Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu in particular have a large concentration of these networks.
So it's like a restaurant where the chefs are from a totally different region than the diners.
Yeah, it really is.
That's pretty wild.
It really is.
Okay, so.
And to add another layer to this puzzle,
ahead.
research shows that Punjabi speakers have the highest success rate when it comes to asylum applications in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
63% success rate compared to 37% overall.
So not only are more people from the north attempting this journey,
Right.
but they're also more likely to be granted asylum once they arrive.
Yeah,
That's a huge difference.
it is.
I mean, is there something about speaking Punjabi that just magically opens doors in the U.S. immigration system?
Well, it's not magic,
Okay.
but there are some historical and cultural factors at play here that are important to consider.
Gotcha.
For starters, Punjabis have a longer history of migration to the U.S., dating back to the late 1800s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this means that there are established networks and a familiarity with the process, even if it's through illegal routes.
This becomes kind of a generational pathway passed down through families and communities.
Exactly. It becomes almost a tradition in some communities.
Right.
With the knowledge and the connections needed to make the journey being passed down through generations.
Wow.
And beyond that, you also have to consider cultural factors. You know, in certain North Indian communities, going abroad, especially to the West, holds significant social status.
Right. It's seen as a marker of success, a way to kind of elevate your family's standing.
Precisely. And this perception fuels the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Families who have someone abroad are often more likely to send others,
Yeah.
reinforcing this idea that going overseas is the key to upward mobility, regardless of the risks or methods involved.
But let's not forget the elephant in the room here.
Yeah.
The sheer cost of this journey.
Yeah.
We're talking 20 lakh to 1.25 crore that people are paying these traffickers.
It's an incredible amount.
That's an incredible amount of money.
Yeah.
So,
It raises a crucial question. If South Indians have access to similar resources, why aren't they taking this route in larger numbers? Why aren't they flocking to the U.S. through these illegal channels?
it challenges the assumption that this is solely about poverty or desperation, right? There's something more complex at play here.
Absolutely. It suggests that South Indians might have different priorities, different ways of viewing risk and reward, and that their cultural and economic perspectives seem to be shaping their choices in a very distinct way.
Okay, so we've got this this intriguing north-south divide when it comes to illegal immigration.
Yeah.
But the financial resources seem to be available in both regions. So what's driving this difference? Is it just about risk tolerance? Are South Indians just inherently more risk averse?
I wouldn't say it's about being risk averse.
Okay.
It's more about differing perspectives on investment and opportunity.
Okay.
So imagine that same 20 lakh to 1.25 crore could fund a top-tier education,
Right.
perhaps even a degree from a prestigious international university, or it could be used to launch a promising business venture.
So instead of pouring that money into a risky illegal journey with uncertain outcomes,
Right.
they might be choosing to invest in more traditional and potentially more secure pathways to success.
Exactly. It's about weighing the potential risks and rewards in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not overlook the legal immigration options that are available.
Right.
Many South Indians prioritize securing work visas or pursuing higher education abroad through established legal channels.
Right.
It's a different mindset, a different approach to achieving similar goals.
It seems like these distinct approaches reflect broader cultural values too, right?
Absolutely.
In some communities, the lure of going abroad, no matter the means, might overshadow the potential dangers involved.
Mm-hmm.
While in others, a more measured, calculated approach prevails.
It's about the weight placed on social capital,
Yeah.
individual aspirations versus familial expectations,
Right.
and the role of perceived risk in decision-making. All of these factors contribute to the distinct patterns we're seeing.
But let's be real, this isn't just a cultural phenomenon.
Economics plays a huge role.
Of course.
If people feel like they have genuine opportunities at home, they're less likely to gamble everything on a dangerous and expensive journey.
You're absolutely right. That's a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And it highlights the need to look beyond just border security and enforcement when addressing illegal immigration. We need to consider the root causes, the economic and social factors driving people to take such drastic measures.
Are there ways to create more opportunities within India?
Yeah.
Particularly in regions where illegal immigration is most prevalent? Because honestly, this whole system feels broken. No one should have to risk their lives and spend a fortune just to seek a better life.
I completely agree. It's about addressing those push factors,
Right.
those systemic issues that make leaving feel like the only viable option for some. If people feel like they have a fair shot at a decent life in their own country, the allure of illegal immigration diminishes significantly.
This raises a really important question, though. What about the people already caught in the system? Yeah.
Those who've invested their life savings, risked everything,
Right.
and are now facing deportation. What happens to them?
It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
Yeah.
Deportation can have devastating consequences. It uproots families,
Right.
shatters dreams, and leaves individuals in a state of limbo.
And it doesn't address the underlying push factors that led them to migrate in the first place.
Exactly. It's a reactive approach rather than a proactive one.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's a cycle that's likely to continue until we address the root causes of illegal immigration, both in India and in destination countries like the U.S.
So where do we go from here?
Yeah.
How do we break this cycle and create a more humane and sustainable approach to migration? Because this isn't just an Indian problem.
Right.
It's a global challenge with ripple effects felt across borders and communities.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well, it starts with recognizing that migration is driven by this really complex web of factors.
Yeah.
You know, it's about economic need, social ambition, and that deeply human desire for a better life,
Right.
a chance at something more.
Yeah.
And so instead of seeing migration solely as a problem to be solved, we need to acknowledge the potential that it actually holds.
You're right. Throughout history, migration has been this incredible force for innovation,
Yeah.
economic growth, and cultural exchange.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
woven into the very fabric of human civilization.
Exactly. The real question isn't how to stop migration altogether,
Right.
but how to manage it in a way that is safe, fair, and beneficial for everyone involved, both in the sending and receiving countries.
And that requires cooperation on so many levels, right?
Right.
Not just between governments, but also between communities, organizations, individuals.
Absolutely. We need a multifaceted approach.
Yeah.
We need to create pathways for legal migration that are accessible and affordable, especially for those seeking economic opportunities.
Right.
Think about streamlined visa processes,
Yeah.
clear guidelines, and more support for navigating the system.
Right.
And on the other side of the equation, we also need to invest in education and job creation in those source countries.
Right.
You know, address those push factors that are making people feel like they have no choice but to leave.
Yeah. It's about creating options, a sense of hope,
Yeah.
and a belief that a good life is possible within their own communities.
Precisely. And let's not underestimate the importance of fostering greater understanding and empathy across cultures.
Yeah.
This can help break down the barriers that often lead to prejudice
Yeah.
and discrimination,
Right.
making it easier for migrants to integrate and contribute to their new homes.
Because when we focus on those shared human experiences,
Yeah.
those common aspirations,
Yeah.
it becomes harder to see migration as a threat.
Exactly. We're living in an interconnected world where what happens in one corner inevitably affects us all.
Yeah.
Finding solutions to complex challenges like migration requires us to think globally, act collaboratively, and embrace a more humane and inclusive vision of the future.
It's a tall order for sure.
It-
But clinging to outdated policies, building walls both literally and figuratively,
Yeah.
and demonizing migrants just isn't sustainable in the long run.
It's about recognizing that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
So what does all this mean for our listener today? As you go about your day, consider this.
Okay.
What role can you play in shaping a more equitable and just world for everyone, regardless of where they were born or how they came to be where they are?
It might be something as simple as challenging stereotypes, advocating for fair immigration policies, or supporting organizations that empower migrants and refugees.
Because in the end, we're all connected. Building a better future for all requires us to acknowledge our shared humanity and work together to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
Yeah.
Not just survive, but truly thrive.
That's a powerful thought.
Yeah.
And a perfect place to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah.
We started with a surprising statistic about deported immigrants.
Right.
And that led us to this much broader conversation about global migration,
Yeah.
opportunity, and our shared responsibility in creating a more just and equitable world.
It's all connected.
Until next time, keep diving deeper, keep questioning, and keep those conversations going.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that we all benefit from a world where people can move and contribute their talents and skills where they're most needed and valued. Restricting that flow, I think, only holds everyone back.
I couldn't agree more. And we often focus on the economic impacts of migration, which are undoubtedly significant. But let's not forget the cultural richness and dynamism that it brings.
Right. Think about the food we eat, the music. We listen to the stories we tell.
Yeah.
So much of it is shaped by the movement of people and ideas across borders.
Exactly. When we embrace migration as this natural part of human history and progress, we open ourselves up to so much more than just economic growth. We foster innovation, creativity, and a deeper understanding of the world and its diverse cultures.
But managing migration effectively does require careful consideration, right?
Oh, so it's not about simply opening the floodgates and hoping for the best.
No, it requires smart policies, collaboration, and a willingness to learn and adapt. We need to address legitimate concerns about security integration and the potential strain on resources.
Right.
While also ensuring that the rights and well-being of migrants are protected.
It's a delicate balance and one that demands a really nuanced approach. There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Yeah, that's precisely why open dialogue and ongoing research are so crucial.
Yeah.
We need to keep learning, keep sharing information, and keep challenging our assumptions about migration.
It's about moving beyond fear-mongering and simplistic narratives. And engaging in thoughtful, evidence-based discussions.
We've made some progress, but there's still so much work to be done.
Right.
We need to invest in comprehensive integration programs that help newcomers learn the language, navigate the culture, and build meaningful connections in their new communities.
And we need to address the systemic inequalities that often make it harder for migrants to access education.
Right.
Healthcare and decent housing.
These are not just challenges, but opportunities to build a more equitable and inclusive society for everyone.
This deep dive has been really eye-opening, and it leaves me feeling hopeful.
Good.
Hopeful that we can move towards a future where migration is seen not as a threat, but as a source of strength and vibrancy.
I share that hope, and I believe that by working together, we can create a world where everyone has the opportunity to seek a better life, contribute their talents, and build a future filled with promise, regardless of where they come from.
What an inspiring note to end on this conversation. Has given us so much to think about.
It has.
And so much to act on. As we wrap up this deep dive, we challenge you, our listener, to consider how you can contribute to a more welcoming and inclusive world. Until next time. Keep diving deeper, keep questioning, and keep those conversations going.